Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Hope you were able to work on goals today. I hope you were able to move forward today. It's always better if you're finding ways to do those things. I was thinking about what to do for a program today, and I came up with an idea, and so we're going to work on something together. Well, okay, so you're not here, but you know what I mean. The death of Blake and Riley was unfortunately a statistic. That's the best way to say it. There are so many people that are being killed by these criminals that are here illegally that, yes, we get to see their faces because thankfully there are good journalists and good people in the world that are wanting to make sure that these people are heard. But we need to figure a way to stop it. Currently, the way to stop it isn't working. So we're going to start with what the Georgia definition, let's see here. I'm going to look this up as I do it. We're going to research as we're doing this. Georgia definition of accessory to murder. Okay. Da-da-da. Accessory to murder is when a person aids another in killing of a human being but is not present at the commission of the murder. Law defines accessory as contributing to or aiding in the commission of a crime. The law makes the distinction between an accessory after the fact and an accessory before the fact. No. Let's see here. After an accessory after the fact is a person who helps another person after that party commits felony. For example, a person commits an offense. They knew another person killed someone and drives a getaway car. An accessory before the fact is a person who helps another person before the party commits felony. An example includes someone helping a person pick out a knife knowing that the person is going to use it to commit crime of domestic violence. The crime of accessory before the fact is sometimes referred to as aiding and abetting. Okay, so they have to know that they have to have knowledge of the crime. Okay, so these folks can't be charged with being an accessory. So they have to be aware. So Mayorkas can't be convicted of that. I'm trying to think of the correct charge. Crime when someone unknowingly aids a criminal. After the fact, accomplished implicitly. No. Criminal, depending on circumstances. Lesser offensive accessory to the crime if you have knowledge or nope. Let's see here. State laws can between aiding, abetting, and being accessory to a crime. Knowledge and assistance. When someone who learns a crime after the fact or who fact may disprove, but aiding is assisting, supporting, or helping another to commit a crime. Okay, so we have here is aiding, but we don't have abetting. Abetting is encouraging, inciting, or inducing another to commit a crime. Think about this for a second. I just stopped and thought about this for a second. you know that somebody, okay, the person who killed, that was not what I wanted. Lincoln Riley killer. Okay. This person's demanding a jury trial. What the heck? Okay, so this dude's name is Ibarra. Jose Antonio Ibarra was granted parole due to detention capacity at Central Processing Center in El Paso, Texas. Uh, Ibarra, a Venezuelan national, was paroled into the United States on September 2022, was arrested for Riley's murder February 2024. Following her murder, Graham wrote to DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas requesting a justification of why Ibarra was paroled. By law, immigration parole is only to be granted at the discretion of DHS Secretary on a case-by-case basis in instances of urgent humanitarian reason or significant public benefit. This is this dude. This is why he, well, I mean, ooh, jury trial. There's a whole bunch of information about this guy that I have heard, but I'm not finding it. Let's see here. This is from the House Judiciary Committee. The committee, February, okay, kidnapping and murdering of Lincoln Riley. Okay, so is aiding and abetting a crime? Well, is aiding a crime? There we go. Okay, what the heck? Okay. Open link and new tab. Okay. Aid and abet means to assist someone in committing or to encourage someone to commit a crime. Generally, an aider and abetter is criminally liable to the same extent as the person committing the crime. Okay, explain this person aids and abets the commission of a crime when he or she acting with knowledge of the unlawful purpose of the perpetrator and the... Okay, so that can't be done. Wait a minute. Here we go. Criminally negligent. Let's see here. What's the difference of criminal negligence? Refers to a defendant who acts in disregard. Okay, what is criminal negligence? Negligence is a concept invoked more frequently in civil rather than criminal cases. That's because conduct that involves ordinary negligence, like becoming distracted while driving and rear-ending someone, typically isn't enough for a criminal conviction. While most crimes involve intentional conduct, legislators have decided a lower level of culpability suffices to impose criminal penalties for certain offenses. Specifically, some crimes involve reckless or negligent rather than intentional conduct. Criminal negligence, sometimes called culpable negligence, refers to a defendant who acts in disregard of a serious risk or harm that a reasonable person in the same situation would have perceived. Another common definition includes an act. Okay, so criminal negligence. This is a crime that Mayorkas should be gone after with. Let's look up. Okay, so criminally negligent homicide. Let's look that up. Um, Negligent homicide is defined as a crime where you commit some act of criminal negligence and the act results in the killing of another person. While state law slightly varies on the definition of criminal negligence, it is generally viewed as conduct where a person ignores a known or obvious risk or disregards the life and safety of others. There we go. So, while looking all of this up, this is what we've come across. That according to the law, because ignoring a known or obvious risk, such as the criminal background of Jose Ibarra. Let's look this up real quick. Jose Ibarra criminal background. Supposedly all these people know what this person okay, so here we go. Past criminal record. Let's see here. Death of 22-year-old Augusta University nursing student. Okay, so according to the Department of Homeland Security, Ibarra and his wife entered the United States near El Paso. Okay, so arrested but not charged, which is pathetic. He was making food deliveries. Arrested for endangering. Okay, so Ibarra's wife told New York Post he was making food deliveries about a year later when police in Queens arrested him for endangering her 5-year-old son. He who was riding on the back of a moped without a helmet. Okay, so that endangered a kid. At this point, ICE could have taken Ibarra into custody, but according to a written ICE statement, he was released by the NYPD before a detainer could be issued. The assistant district attorney refused to answer. And they were stealing from Walmart. He came to Athens, Georgia, and about a month after Ibarra's arrest in New York, and he and his brother were accused of stealing from a Walmart in Athens. According to the police report, two allegedly took bacon, sausage, queso, fresco sausage or cheese with some clothes. Some misdemeanor. Okay. He wasn't arrested. Wow. This guy didn't do like a major Okay. So the guy put a 5-year-old at risk by riding around on a moped without a helmet, and he shoplifted some stuff. That's the entire. And because he was Venezuelan, he was let go. I'm starting to see a trend here. So nobody really paid attention to what were considered minor crimes. The putting a 5-year-old in danger, depending on the age of the person who did this, the assistant district attorney, well, where they were from more than anything else. But still, this person entered the United States illegally, which is a crime. Oh, but he got to claim he was a refugee. if he was detained, I don't understand if you. I don't understand our situation with why we continue to not control the southern border. I mean, I understand that it's getting voters for the Democrats. Um, that part of it, yeah, that's not that difficult to understand. What I'm trying to figure out is how any sane person can allow themselves to continuously do the same thing over and over again. I mean, it's the definition of insanity, basically. So here's a guy who was caught committing two crimes, and while and I mean, thing is, in a lot of places, what he did, yeah, that's done on a regular basis. So he was let into this country, and that's the thing I don't understand. We keep letting everybody in. We keep letting refugees in. We keep letting, but most of the time, these folks act the same way. I mean, how many people have had their identity stolen because of these criminals that cross our border? I mean, that's what it comes down to on that one. Crossing the border illegally is a crime, but it doesn't specifically state that he crossed the border illegally. But if he was detained, then most likely that's the truth. Um, why do we keep electing people? This is my frustration with this. Why do we keep electing people who allow this to continue? I mean, that's what it comes down to. Okay, fine. You elect folks who there are all kinds of folks that get elected. But once you realize that these folks are not doing good for the United States, why do you keep electing them? I mean, you take a look at Mitch McConnell. Why do you keep electing him? You can get a Republican elected in the state of Kentucky. So Mitch McConnell basically, I don't have proof of it. I'm sure if I was to go looking around, I could find ways that he is corrupt. But he has, on many occasions, been far more likely to vote for things that the Democrats want than he is for doing anything that a conservative would want. So I'm trying to understand why Kentucky keeps electing him. He's put into power. Lindsey Graham, half the time he talks tough but doesn't do anything, period. It just, seriously, he does a lot of talking, but he doesn't do a lot of anything else. He, I, I don't understand why we continue to do these things. Um, and a lot of it is we are We're the ones that keep electing these people. Um, we need to start at the simple level of the primaries. Because, yeah, let's not even talk about the Democrats. The Democrats rarely have anybody that's actually worth considering. Actually, other than Tulsi Gabbard, I don't know the last time that we had a person that was worth considering from them. Uh General Wesley Clark by no means was somebody that we should have ever considered as a possibility. Um he almost started a war with Russia at a bad time. He showed himself to not be someone that was worth the effort. And of course he was a Democrat. But in the simple issue where you take a look, we have primaries. We know what Republicans are there that we can go, hey, this person isn't measuring up. You look into the folks, and if they're not acting the way that we need them to act, then you vote them out of office. If we need conservatives put into office, period. It's that simple. We need people who are going to be looking after our freedom, who are going to be looking after common sense. And okay, we need to stop allowing ourselves to vote for these shiny pretty things. I'll admit I have voted for the shiny pretty things as well. We need to stop this. This is hurting our country. We need to stop voting for somebody just because they're a Republican. It too often we don't vote in the proper election. Seriously, we don't. The primary election is far more important. If we get that right, then the general election becomes simple. End of story, it becomes simple. But instead, we allow situations where we have members in our government, members of our government that are basically committing criminally negligent homicide. That is the correct charge. That is, if that is a, that should be a crime in Georgia. And to be perfectly honest, that probably should be what is done in Georgia. They should be able to charge Mayorkas with criminally negligent homicide. You knew that you had to sign for this person to come into the United States. It was proven that he had to sign. It was by directive that it had to be done by the secretary. You've got enough people in this country that we don't need more people right now. We've got to clear through the people that are here. We've got to figure out what they're doing because so many of them are committing crimes. You take a look at the situation with the young children that were basically sent into slavery by so many of the DHS. So this is the situation. We've got to stop voting in people. We need to start with the primary, like I said. The primary is far more important. As a conservative, we've got to start at the primaries. We've got to stop allowing people to get on the ticket as Republicans who aren't truly conservative. Now there are some places you won't get that chance. We've got to see what we can do on that side. I mean, it's not easy. I'm well aware, but we've got to start working together. I keep talking about community. Well, it's true, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to create a community of conservatives around the country. Every area's got to have a community of conservatives. We've got to have you working together with others in making sure that we have a situation where we no longer have this. We need to have a situation in which we're no longer allowing more and more crimes to be committed by our elected officials or the people that they appoint, because Mayorkas was appointed. We can't keep going this route. It's not healthy. We are losing too many people. We've got to start fixing what is happening, and it starts, end of story, at the primaries. You've got to get involved. You've got to get involved with the Republican Party meetings. Start going to the meetings. Start learning who the folks are that are going to be running for office. You've got to start getting rid of the people who are in power in the Republican Party that think that it's okay to not get people in office who are going to do what they say, who are not going to do the things that are best for the United States. You know as well as I do that there are plenty of people that are in control of these Republican parties who are not doing their job. So we need to fix that. Me, you, and everybody else. You constantly hear people complaining but not offering solutions, or they're wanting to be violent, or they're wanting to scream and yell. Okay, I'll admit there are times that I get a little heated, but here's a solution. This young lady, if we had had the right person in place, this could have been prevented. It could have. So, you and I need to work together to make sure that the right people are put into place. Let's start with get to know your local Republican Party. That's end of story, simple, the simplest solution. Start getting to know the people that are at your Republican meetings on a regular basis, the ones that are getting heard more than they should. Next, we've got to start making sure that we no longer allow the wrong person to get elected in the primaries. The people who just do not do any good for this country. We keep allowing it, but we need to stop that. We need to start working primaries. We need to make sure that the folks that are getting elected in the primaries are the ones that should be elected in the primaries. But we haven't been doing that. it takes all of us working together. So let's seriously, let's work there. We we can't really keep this up. There are too many people dying. Literally, they are dying. They're getting murdered by these criminals. So let's let's go there at the next stop. What are we going to do? I just that that's the I mean, what are we going to do about this? That's each of us each of us are going to have to work on this one. And I mean, I'm just not sure. I'm really not. Um you and I are going to have to stop allowing these folks this kind of power. So let's see what we can do. Um, I just you'll have to pardon me. I just don't understand how we continue to do this. It's an exercise in futility. Seriously, that's what the basic definition of it all. It's an exercise in futility most of the time. We know that we should not allow these people the opportunity to have this power. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We know that we should not be allowing these people to have this kind of power. They should not have the power to kill our people. That's the basics of it. It they should not be allowed to walk around free, but that's what's happening. That is what is happening. These people are getting to walk around free. And by the definition, I read it to you. I looked it up. I looked it up so that you can see what it means. Now, most of the time, this is only used for civil issues, but Mayorkas is criminally negligent. It is a criminally negligent homicide. By him not doing his job, it is a criminally negligent homicide. That's the situation. I don't know anything else that we can do. So that is what I'm going to say. That's what we have to stop. And it's going to take all of us to stop it. It's just no, no more. We can no longer allow this. Now, I am going to uh, ask you if you've made it all the way through. I'm going to end a little earlier than normal for me. Um, if you've made it all the way through, I would like for you to tell me, okay, I'm not going to do live stream, but I am going to start trying to figure out how to. I'm trying to figure out OBS. Um, would you like to see more, or is a podcast style? Are you not enjoying the pod? Or do you think that people are not enjoying the podcast style stuff? There we go. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out how I can make it so that you folks will want to watch more or listen more. Actually, I'm just wanting to do the talking part right now. Um, I'm trying to figure out what everybody wants because I write hard-hitting journalistic pieces. I mean, I'm talking about I showed a way that the Chinese Communist Party and other foreigners are funding Democrat agendas, and I have like 39 people reading it. Could it just be that I just haven't hit through yet, or am I just that boring? Um, Seriously, I'd like to hear your opinions on what I can do, what I need to do to get heard a little bit more often. But I am Redneck Thinker. You can, if you want to listen to me more, you can go to Twitter under Redneck Thinker, Rumble, YouTube, and Podbean under Redneck Thinker. I am trying to think here of all the different things. MeWe, Redneck Thinker. I am my name on LinkedIn and Facebook, Paul Shannon. And I have my Freedom BN that's got my book. Um, so if you're interested in reading up on, it's my Founding Freedoms primer. It covers the Bill of Rights. It's what the founders wrote. William Blackstone, who was the inspiration for so many of the founders, and it's on itch.io, Founding Freedoms Primer, under my Freedom VN brand, and also I have my Patreon at Freedom VN. But I will let you guys go. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Have a good day.